Hello, welcome to the lunch edition of MBC News, and you are with me, Evelis Jungambi. Coming up this afternoon, President Mutharika directs the Ministry of Transport to inspect bridges on the main roads to ensure they are in good condition as the rains continue. Floods displace over 600 households in Kodagoda, and Save the Children Malawi describes 2025 as a mixed year in the promotion of children's rights. Thank you for joining us. Now the news in detail. President Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika has directed the Ministry of Transport and Public Works as well as the Roads Authority to inspect all bridges on the country's roads as the rains continue. In a statement, Chief Secretary Justin Saidi says the aim is to ensure that the bridges are in good shape. Saidi said the government has made progress in the rehabilitation of M1 Road after heavy rains washed away two sections between Jadoloma and Kamenya in Kasungu yesterday, and that Kamenya Bridge is now passable. He says as from Pasazi, only vehicles up to 5 tons are able to pass through to either Mzuzu or Lilongwe, while an alternative route has also been identified to accommodate vehicles of up to 30 tons. The statement further says 2 contractors are on site to ensure the road is fully passable within the next few hours. And speaking after inspecting construction works on the sites affected by rains in Kasungu, Minister of Transport and Public Works Feston Kauba expressed satisfaction with the progress made so far. District Disaster Risk Management Officer Romachinga Nkata has confirmed that flooding in Kodagoda district has displaced over 600 households, with 8 camps now housing affected families. She said 2 people are also reported missing in Luangwa though verification is still underway. According to Nkata, boats have been provided by the Malawi Defence Force to help support ongoing rescue operations as flooding continues after continuous heavy rainfall. The Department of Climate Change and Meteorological Services has listed Nkhotakota as one of the districts to continue receiving heavy rains in the coming days and has advised people to avoid using structurally weak houses or toilets that are at risk of collapsing. The Department of Disaster Management Affairs DOTMA says at least 4,500 households in Sanje and Chikwawa have been affected by heavy rains that hit the country last week. Speaking at Mbazi Primary School in Sanje during a visit to displaced people sheltering at makeshift camp, DOTMA Commissioner Wilson Mullen assured the families that government will provide necessary relief assistance.
Our role as DODMA at this point is to provide support till they return to their normal life, which is returning back to their homes. We're hoping that in a few days they'll be going back to their houses. Lower Shire has been hit hard. As I said, the Sanje, 2,500 and over 2,000 in Chikwawa. We are concerned, particularly because these incidents are happening every year, and our hope is that we will work together with the communities and other stakeholders to make sure that they build resilience, to make sure we can prevent some of the disasters. We also want, to call upon the communities around here. Some of the people shouldn't all come to the camps. Camps are not the best places. The community should take a role, handle some of the people that are displaced, keep them in their homes where possible, because camps usually don't have the facilities to handle a lot of people like this. So some people have moved to safer areas, but others have not. So it's a battle we're not winning that much, but we're encouraging people to move to safer areas through the messages that we give out. We do a lot of sensitizations And I think you've seen Rodma going around with the Vice President, also disseminating the same messages, saying people should move to higher grounds, particularly as the rains are intensifying. So some people are moving, others are not. So it's a battle we are yet to win.
There is hope that communities living around Mpamba area in Nkata Bay will start receiving quality health services courtesy of the increased Constituency Development Fund, CDF. The area relies on a dilapidated Mpamba Health Center whose current status does not match its catchment area of over 31,000 people. Member of Parliament for Nkata Bay Mpamba constituency, Jacob Ntambaliga, told MBC that together with the Nkata Bay District Council, they have opted to prioritize health services in their development strategy. Temba Male reports.
Mpamba Health Center in Nkata Bay District saves a population of over 31,000 people from areas such as Mpamba, Mwambazi and Chikwina. However, its current capacity does not match the huge population it caters for because its structures are old, dilapidated and inadequate. The facility does not have a proper maternity wing as its delivery room has only one bed against 12 to 19 births the facility handles each week. The new maternity wing, which is under construction, started in October this year, and the contractor has since left the site. Senior Chief Timbiri of the area says communities, particularly women, face a lot of challenges accessing health services, a development which is compounded by poor road conditions. The problem has also been echoed by Councillor for Mwambazi Ward, Lloyd Nkosi, who says there is urgent need to address the problem.
With this amount of money, it can be partly used to construct some structures at Mpamba Health Center. For example, we can construct toilets. We can also complete the maternity wing, health workers' houses, and we can also construct the laboratory so that the workers can work their duties freely without any interference.
But according to Member of Parliament for Nkata Bay Mpamba constituency, Jacob Mtambalika, all these challenges will soon be history as the coming in of the increased Constituency Development Fund will, among other areas, prioritize capacitating the health sector in the district. He said Mpamba Health Center particularly will be expanded so that its services ably meet the health service demand of the area.
You know, the Mpamba area has grown very big and the Mpamba Health Center is being stretched too much. So when the minister came, one of the issues we discussed is to upgrade the Mpamba Health Center so that we have proper maternity wing. You know, we don't have wards at Mpamba Health Center, so we want to build more wards so that it should be able to admit patients. We're also planning to build a proper laboratory so that more tests can be done at the Mpamba Health Center. We are also planning from the 5 billion to upgrade the HSR Health Post.
Nkata Bay District has a total of 6 constituencies, meaning the district will receive 30 billion kwacha within the 2026-2027 financial year for various development projects. Temba Male, MBC News, Nkata Bay.
The Ministry of Health and Sanitation says the country has recorded a significant decline in malaria cases. Speaking to Embassy in Lilongwe, Program Manager for the National Malaria Control Program in the Ministry of Health, Dr. Lumbani Mutali, said from January to September last year, the country recorded about 7.6 million malaria cases compared to 4.6 million cases during the same period this year, representing a 39% reduction. Mutali attributed the drop to the massnet distribution campaign. Mutali explains.
We have had what we can call a significant reduction as compared to last year. So, for example, if we look at malaria cases for the period of January to September in 2024 versus malaria cases from January to September 2025. This year, we have seen a reduction of 39% of malaria cases. The same with deaths. There have been lower deaths this year as compared to last year. What is contributing to this reduction? One of the key things that the government has done is, you remember that as Malawi, we have been doing a mass net distribution campaign. We started towards the end of 2024, we ended by the end of June this year. So we have distributed nets in all the districts in Malawi. We know these nets were not enough for every household, but at least they have contributed to this reduction of malaria cases. That's why we see this year we have not had a big problem in terms of malaria.
You're watching MBC News and you are with me, Evelis Chungambe. A reminder of our top stories. President Mutharika directs the Ministry of Transport to inspect bridges on the main roads to ensure they are in good condition as the rains continue. Floods displace over 600 households in Kota. And Save the Children Malawi describes 2025 as a mixed year in the promotion of children's rights. Welcome back. Save the Children Malawi has described 2025 as a mixed year in the promotion of children's rights. A representative of the child-centric organization, Chakufwa Mutali, said the year will be remembered since non-state actors had to rethink and reflect on the funding model to sustain their operations. Charles Jindongo has more in this report, being read by Norbert Jemson.
Mutali said the withdrawal of funding by major development partners affected operations of many non-state actors. Earlier this year, the United States of America, USA, announced a withdrawal of financial assistance to Malawi and other third world countries, a decision that left about 5,000 workers in the country jobless.
So basically, 2025 has been a challenging year, not only to save the children, but to all organizations, including government. You know, the donor landscape is changing, the funding levels are dwindling, and yet the problems are increasing. So at this point in time, we need more resources than it was last year.
He was speaking on the sidelines of a graduation program where 175 people in Ncheu district have been equipped with skills to promote tolerance in their respective communities, among others. Meanwhile, authorities in the Ministry of Gender and Social Welfare have commended the child-centric organization for complementing government efforts. Oliver Kumbambe is the Principal Secretary for Administration in the ministry.
The graduation of the 160 people today in the Safe Families program is a remarkable milestone. It is a remarkable milestone because, as we know, the child is the foundation of any nation. The laws of this country, but also international convention, provides for appropriate care of all children, and also the recognition of the family as the cornerstone of the nation's development.
Speaking area, Inkosi Yamakosi Gomani 5 described violent-free families as catalysts for national development.
It's important to have families that are free from violence, because studies do show that children that have groomed or grow in families where they see a lot of gender-based violence happening in that family are prone to also be violent in the future. Or if not being violent, they are prone to have some psychological aspect from the violence that they experienced, either towards themselves or just experienced by seeing others being abused. So it is definitely important that children and even everyone in the household grows up in an environment that is safe, loving and caring, so that they may also emulate the same.
Save the Children is one of the non-state actors that is closely working with government to promote rights of children in the country.
A local organic fertilizer company, Rural Development Investment Initiative Trust, RUDVIT, has disclosed that it will commence manufacturing fertilizer January next year. RUDVIT Executive Chairperson Hastings Pofomo Nyerinda told journalists during a machine test at the factory in Chilega, Blantyre. Simeon Shumba reports.
A long wait is over now. Speaking to journalists, RUDVIT Executive Chairperson Hastings Pofomo Nyerinda said the company is expected to bring huge impact to the agriculture sector in the country.
So if we put together the annual production capacity of the machinery, we're talking of in a region of around 20,000 metric tons. And we are aware that the national demand for fertilizer is in the region of 500,000 metric tons. So although we are actually coming in small, we believe that we will be able to make a significant impact, given the fact that the pricing from the importation, and given the fact that the imports are looking for forex, and forex is actually a shortage here. I mean, it's scarce in this particular in our country. So what we've been saying is that those that will be able to use will be able to increase their productivity, because they will be accessing a cheaper kind of fertilizer input than perhaps would have cost them if they were to import. In any case, some of them would even have afforded to get the imported fertilizers because of the pricing.
According to Nyerinda, the factory will use waste materials available in the localities, and arrangements have already been made on accessing the same. But what is the capacity of the factory?
So this is 3 metric tons per hour machinery, effectively meaning if it's running at its full capacity, it will produce 60 bags in an hour or 1 bag per minute. We will be producing granulated organic fertilizer. As you can see, amongst the setup of our machinery, we have a granulator as well. So it's a granulator which is going now to release the finer particles of what is required of our fertilizer, which we can take full of its nutrients, unlike the powdered kind of stuff. But this is granulated organic fertilizer made of organic materials.
Meanwhile, the factory has already created over 100 job opportunities to communities around the factory. Simeon Shumba, NBC News, Blantyre.
And now in sports, Mighty Wanderers president Thompson Benganjira says his ultimate satisfaction from the just-ended TNM Super League came from beating rivals FCB Nyasabik Bullets. Wanderers defeated Bullets twice in the league and went on to beat them again in the FDH Bank Cup semi-finals. The league double over Bullets was crucial for the Nomads to win the Super League title for the first time in 8 years. But Benganjira insists victory over Bullets was the major highlight of the season.
Growing up in Blantyre, which is where football started in Malawi, before we crossed over to Central Region and the Northern Region, football was about Bullets and Wanderers. I said, and I've always emphasized to Wanderers to say, from where I come from, the most important match of the season is between Wanderers and Bullets. That's why I kept on saying to them, you can lose other games, but don't lose this one. Because if you lose this one, you are going to suffer. And they really suffer, the supporters. So I kept on repeating that message, and therefore that's why you saw that every time they met Bullets and Bob coming from the club, they worked hard to beat Bullets. And then drew or lost against small teams. But winning against Bullets, just like Bullets winning against Wanderers, is the biggest satisfaction you get from football in Malawi.
And that's it from our newsroom this afternoon. A recap of the top stories before we leave. President Mutharika directs the Ministry of Transport to inspect bridges on the main roads to ensure they are in good condition as the rains continue. Floods displace over 600 households in Kota. And Save the Children Malawi describes 2025 as a mixed year in the promotion of children's rights. For more updates, scan the QR code at the top right corner of your TV screen. Wishing you a happy new year and enjoy responsibly. You've been with me, Evelis Chingambe. Thanks for watching and bye for now.
What's your name? Gary, huh? He's my game.
We put everything into this.
Those that can do it and succeed,
how to fix